Hi everyone, my name is Darian of Lab Shenanigans, and this is Scientifically Speaking. On this week's episode, my guest and I, we talk about residency, experiences in our previous labs, awkward social events, and what we're up to now. It is recording. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scientifically Speaking. Today, I have a wonderful guest, Jess Messier. She just finished her MD PhD at Baylor College of Medicine and is now a pediatrics resident at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. And she's going to do a neonatology fellowship. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Are you nervous?
No, I mean, no. I'll get in somewhere. I don't know where, with the weird match system.
So this episode, I'm like filming everything ahead of time. And so this episode won't be posted until probably late April, early May. A couple days ago was a whole match thing, right?
Oh, yeah, for residency. It was the residency match process on Friday. So like 2 days ago.
Yeah. So you don't have to go through all that because you're already in your residency program.
Oh, no. Fellowship, you match again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when do you finish your... I'm going to ask a lot of dumb questions because I'm not in med school. Is your fellowship like in the middle of your residency, or do you have to finish your residency first and then you go into your fellowship?
Yeah. So you finish your residency and then it's a whole nother process afterwards. So for pediatrics residencies, 3 years, and then all the fellowships are an additional 3 years afterwards.
Holy moly, I know. You're in school for a long time.
I'm going to be like 40 by the time I have a real job, probably.
But hey, I mean, a lot of people that go into med school, more specifically into the MD PhD program, generally come in with like another boo thing so that they don't try to find their boo thing and try to get married in the middle of all that. Well, you got married early on. So you kind of saved all that. So Jess and we met when I was a research technician at an institute that I will not mention, but I was working as a research technician, research tech 2 in a lab. And
you're research tech 1 in my heart.
Wait, no, I think research tech. Oh, okay. I get it.
What does research tech 2 mean?
2 means we're more experienced.
Oh, yeah. 2's better than 1. Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
2 heads are better than 1.
Okay.
Do you know that reference? 2 heads are better than 1. It's from Dragon Tales from PBS Kids.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
No, okay. So, I was working as a research tech 2 in a lab, and you were in my PI's husband's lab, and you were MD PhD. We met my first week when I started working there and I think we clicked immediately because we found out that we went to the same undergrad school, UT Austin.
Yeah.
I studied biochem theater. You studied math, right?
Correct.
And when did you graduate?
When did I graduate undergrad? 2012, actually. You were 20. When did you finish?
I finished 2017.
Oh, I'm a lot older than you. Yeah.
But you look a lot younger.
No.
Yes. I
don't have that Asian skin like you, though.
No, okay. Well, we're not going to play this compliment game where we're just showering each other with compliments, but keep going. No. And I think it's really interesting that you studied math and you went to med school. That's not very common. I don't hear a lot of math majors.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people generally go for like a physics PhD or something. And this bitch over here went and studied and went to medicine. Did you always know that you wanted to go into medicine?
I did. I went into college knowing I wanted to do med school. And the cool thing is that you don't, you just have to do the pre-med like requirements, prereqs.
Yeah.
And so you can really major in anything you want. Like people major in theater, English. And so I really liked math, and I thought, well, I might as well learn something new that I won't ever do again,
I love that. That is a really good way to view college. That's why I studied theater. I also love the way that you said theater.
I know, everyone makes fun of me. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think
theater.
Honestly, if you said I studied theater,
Theater.
I would have been like, oh damn, yeah.
Sorry,
You're
theater.
real. Theater. Did you know early on that you wanted to go into the MD PhD program?
No, no. I knew I always wanted to go to medical school, and then it was the summer after my freshman year of college. I applied for like a summer research program at the University of Vermont, just honestly with the
Mm.
intentions just to boost my resume for medical school.
Oh, you're that pre-med student.
I was. And I got in, and it was in neuroscience. I was in a
Mm.
neuroscience lab in Vermont, and I loved it. I love my research experience. So then when I came back to UT that my sophomore year, after that summer, I joined the research lab where we did research with rats. And then I
Mm.
just ended up deciding to apply for MD PhD. I didn't think I'd get in because it's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Somehow I did.
Wow. I'm loving this
Yeah.
humble brag. You're like, I wasn't like even
Like,
trying. Like, I just applied.
no.
The institution that we met at is pretty prestigious, and you got in. They only accept like what, 10 MD PhD applicants every cycle?
I think that's how many are enrolled every year.
Yeah.
But I think they accept more because not
Gotcha,
everyone
gotcha.
goes there. I want to
Gotcha.
say they probably accept like 40, 50, but
Oh,
I don't know.
really? Wow.
Yeah, I think so. You were thinking about doing MD PhD for a while, I remember.
I was, but
And then you just applied PhD.
yeah, well, I think in the very beginning when I was working as a research tech, I was so set on applying for MD PhD. I already took my MCAT, did
Yeah.
shadowing, good GPA and all that. And I think maybe I was comparing myself to a lot of other MD PhD applicants who had already published, who had worked in a lab for a long time, or were like already on papers. And that's honestly why I decided to work as a research tech, because I was like, I need to step up my pussy game. I need to be on papers. And so I was hoping to publish a paper, at least have my name on something, and then
Yeah.
apply to some schools. Because my PI was a physician scientist. She gave me a lot of advice on navigating through medical school, PhD, and I think because she kind of knew, she saw firsthand how I work, and she was like, I think you're more fit for PhD program than med school, just because like the way that I think
Yeah.
and all that. I was like, okay, and this is early on. My PI and I had a really good relationship. Early on in the very beginning, my PI and I were very close because it was just
Yeah.
us two.
Well, it was just you two. And I remember you were working like, you would work like 15-hour days. She liked that, huh?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I was so passionate about this project, and I really didn't mind. I loved working in the lab. I think I was surrounded by really good people that was just like self-motivated. You're one of them. By the time that I met you, you were already in the lab for like, I think 3 years, 2 years.
When did you start? What year?
I started at the beginning of 2018.
Okay. Yeah. So I started, I think 2015 was probably my
2015.
PhD. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I probably joined the lab beginning of 2016.
Gotcha. I think our institution in general is just like there are high expectations that need to be met. And I think because everyone has like this fire burning in their butts that we have to publish a lot and get data and more figures and blah 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 blah. And so I think over time I got like a little stressed,
A little burnt out. Yeah.
But I definitely love the grind of being in lab, and it's always, I don't know, there's always that little moments of euphoria I started watching that show. But anyway, like those little moments of euphoria when you make a discovery, when you find a good image, or when you get data that you were not expecting, but so that's the stuff the stuff that I go for in research.
Yeah.
Because our PIs are obs married, we spent a lot of time with our labs too, and we did boot camp together. And
oh yeah,
yeah, we did boot camp for I say a long time, but it was like a couple months.
An exercise boot camp.
It was an exercise.
Why'd you stop? You
I
stopped
stopped
coming.
going because it's for a very good excuse, and the excuse is laziness. No, I'm just kidding. It's a really bad excuse. I was well, it's a combination of laziness. I wanted to spend more time in the lab,
Oh yeah.
and I didn't want to pay for boot camp because it was kind of expensive. The
Yeah.
times that I went, I was on my month's trial, but the coach was really chill. He knew that I was part of y'all's group, and so he would like give me like this extended 3 month thing, and so I took advantage of that. And then the moment that I had to start paying, I was like, all right, let me take a little break.
Yeah.
That was so fun though. We would go to boot camp. It
With
was
our PIs.
oh yeah,
We
yeah.
got our PIs to come.
Yeah. And we did this like twice a week, Tuesdays and
Yeah,
Thursdays, right?
Tuesdays, Thursdays.
4 to like 6 or something.
Oh, it was not 2 hours. It was like an hour, I think. Yeah.
Was it? Because
Hmm.
I would always remember coming back around like 7.
Maybe 5 to 6. Oh yeah, Darian would actually go back to lab afterwards. You and your
Yeah.
and with the
Yeah.
PIs. I would be like,
Yeah.
screw y'all, I'm going home.
You would go to lab like around 5 or 6, or at least you would wake up that early and then you would go to lab
Oh
hella
yeah,
early.
I'm an early bird.
Yeah, and you would leave lab like around 3:50 or whatever, and then go to boot camp and then go home, which is I think a
Yeah.
really good schedule. Me and the PIs, we would go to boot camp and then we would come back, and then occasionally they would order dinner and then we'd all eat together, and it was a good like little
Aww.
family time. Those were the early days that I genuinely enjoyed. Like I was so close with my PI. And
Yeah.
I'm so like traumatized by a lot of things that happened after you left. So you left, I think like 20, or you graduated. I'm sorry. I'll say you left like as if something bad happened. No, you and your PI on great terms. And I remember attending your defense. It was really good. Your defense was the first one that I've ever attended. And I don't know why, but I always thought it was going to be like a regular lab meeting. I thought it was going to be casual, but I love your last couple of slides where you thanked your PI and you included all these great memories of them. I vividly remember you included a slide that said that they are kind of like a tiger parent. And I
Oh, he's
was
my
like,
tiger PI. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like,
him.
that's a great way to see them.
Yeah.
And in the nicest way possible. It all comes from a place of love, and that there is this tough love that's kind of implemented by more so of your PI. And I really like your PI's teaching style, pretty laid back, but also like hands on and making sure that you do your stuff.
Yeah. I did 2012 to 20. I think I finished my PhD 2018. Then I did my last years of med school, finished med school 2020.
Yeah.
And then I started residency. What year is it now?
2022.
2022. Okay.
Yeah, this is what med school and residency does. This is what they do to you.
It never ends. Personal statements never end. Standardized tests never end.
Oh yeah, I hear that a lot from other medical students. Your PI and I are great terms, and I really look up to them. In fact, I'm skipping way ahead. I'm in a new lab now, and your PI is collaborating with my current PI, and so I didn't know that at all.
Wait, whose lab are you in? Can you tell me off the record?
Yeah. I'm in Jersey's Lebowski's lab. Yeah, I'm still the med center.
Last I checked, it was like you got into, and then you were like, I'm going to take a year off to work on my image.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm still doing social media. I really do miss the lab. Like I miss doing research so much. And by the time that I decided that I wanted to pursue a PhD, I already passed the cycle. And so I was like, well, what do I do in my free time? Let me just kind of want to work in, I kind of want to kind of dip my feet in a biomedical engineering lab, see what it's like. It's a blend of neuroscience and biomedical engineering. It's neuro engineering. That's what they call it. And so I've been working in this lab for about a month now.
Okay.
And I love this lab. I'm like thriving. I love it so much. And I love everything I'm learning.
What's the, like, what kind of stuff do you guys research in your lab?
Oh yeah, so in my old lab, we studied very rare human neurodevelopmental disorders, and we studied those disorders in mice, and we characterized them. In my lab, we are looking at methods of non-invasively modulating circuits in the brain by different variations of therapies, like gene therapy. So right now, I'm studying in a mouse model how to deliver genes using focused ultrasound, and we're trying to target specific regions of the brain. And
Cool.
that's pretty much like the watered down
Yeah, yeah,
version of it.
yeah.
It's only been a
That's
month,
very
and
cool.
so yeah, it's I'm loving every aspect of it. And I think what I love about this lab is that it's super duper collaborative. I think because my old lab, we were just so small, I was tackling every aspect of my project on my own, which I think is really good because it allowed me to learn new methods and new techniques of different experiments. In this lab, everything is kind of divvied up where this person works on this aspect of the project and this other person works on this other aspect. And that's something I'm not, I guess, used to.
Well, it takes a yeah, and it takes a long time to become like an expert or a master at any given technique. So if you're trying
Yeah.
to do every single technique yourself,
Yeah.
then you're probably spending a year or two
Yeah.
just like trying to master those techniques.
Yeah. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My old PI early on, she kind of just ingrained in my head that it's your project. You need to do everything yourself.
Yeah. Well, my PI said the same thing. But his reasoning was, well, if you're in the future when you're a PI
Yeah.
yourself, if that's the path you choose to take, you're going to need to know all these different techniques. And
Yeah.
like, I mean, so that makes sense. But now looking back, it's like, okay, well, even if I do want to do basic science and be a PI, it's going to be like 10 years outdated by the time I'm there. So
True, true,
kind
true,
of
true, true.
irrelevant what I learned back in what did we say? 2015.
We have our lab meetings every Monday, and um half the lab works on like cell stuff and then the other lab works on mouse stuff.
Mm.
I want to say that like I'm probably one of the younger people
Yeah.
in this group. Hold on, I gotta burp. I literally do this on every episode. I always burp because I'm literally drinking coffee right now.
What are you drinking?
Starbucks. I always get Pike's Place.
Oh, it's just a coffee. Okay.
Yeah, it's cheap and the caffeine kicks in so quickly for me.
You know what you should try? The shaken espresso drinks.
The shake and espresso?
Yeah.
Okay.
Espresso. So like a grande shaken espresso comes with 3 espresso shots.
Oh my
Like
god.
that's like the baseline.
Girl, I will be bouncing off the walls. I'll be doing backflips, kicks, and shablams. Definitely, there's a lot of perks to doing every experiment in my old lab myself because I feel pretty knowledgeable and like I feel like I can give adequate advice on sectioning and staining and all that. And even just like critiquing projects and rationales and everything themselves. One PhD student gave a lab meeting this past week, and it was really good. I felt kind of bad because I don't know. I think lab meeting is a time where we constructively criticize each other and like
definitely.
And I just felt bad because I was like, oh, like, hey, I think it's a good idea to not use red and green on slides because
because of colorblind.
Yeah, colorblind. Also, I think like try including. You're only looking in male mice. I think you should also try looking into female mice because just in case like the reviewers might ask you to look at both genders, maybe like increase your sample size a bit more, maybe look at more sections and I don't know if everyone goes into lab meeting the same mindset that I do, but I really do try to criticize and critique as much in the best way possible so that we really help each other, But everyone was really quiet and I just felt like I was just consistently just like unmuting myself and try to do this. I really hope that, when it's my turn to give lab meeting that everyone's like that too, that we help each other.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you rather your like colleagues give you that feedback versus, you're presenting a poster and, a random person's like, you're sexist, you aren't looking at females?
Has it ever happened to you? Has like everyone ever tried to bash you on your presentation or poster presentation or just a meeting?
No. I would say most people are usually nice and give constructive feedback.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think for me, the only person, and y'all can hear this on episode 1, the harshest critic that I've ever had was always my PI. I always try to give them benefit of the doubt that it came from a place of like love and that they were trying to help me, but I think sometimes they don't understand the boundaries that they're crossing. And so I think when it even though it comes from like a good place, like good intentions, I don't think the delivery was as good. I guess that's my coping mechanism is to always give the other person benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
if
good.
if you randomly bash on me one day, like Darren, you blah 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 blah, I probably would be like, she's having a bad day. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's stressed. Don't take it personally. That was always me, but I think there are times when like I would just crack and I would get frustrated.
No, I remember. I feel like our PIs were similar. I mean, they were married, but I had to tell my PI. I said, sometimes like positive feedback is good too. Like, just like kids and dogs, you don't train them with negative
Yeah.
reinforcement. You train them with positive reinforcement.
Yep.
And then after that, watching him try to be positive, he would like give me a good job. You patched that cell, and he'd like give me a high five. It was so like unsincere. It was so funny. So are you still planning on
PhD?
doing a PhD?
Yar, I'm planning to apply this upcoming cycle. I really love this lab, and the goal is to hopefully join this lab and either continue on this project or further expand on this current project.
So you would do biomedical engineering at Rice, is that or somewhere?
Yeah, but my only hesitation is that, girl, it's math heavy. It's so math heavy. So what I'm saying is this is actually why I brought you on the podcast, because knowing that you studied math, I'm going to give you all of my homework and you're going to do it for me. So
Okay. Well, the funny thing about math PhD or a math like studying it is like it actually has very little to do with numbers, and it's more theorems and proving theorems, and it's not very applicable to the everyday world. Looking back, I wish I maybe majored in like computer sciences. I think that would be a lot more useful. At least like medicine and like research, like research as well.
Literally everything is coding nowadays. Like
I
computer
know.
science is so relevant. I wish I could code, and I hate victimizing myself because I'm like, I wish I could do this, and it really is so easy to learn how to code. You can just Google, but I'm a busy guy. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just a busy guy.
We need. You should get on the podcast.
We're gonna bleep on their name. Also, whenever I mention someone, I always try to use like gender neutral. So I say they, them. This person that we just bleeped out, they were a research tech in your lab.
Yes.
And they were also my PI's cousin. Small world.
Yeah.
They're so chill, laid back, and they are currently now in med school. I think they're in their second or third year.
I think third, because I texted them not too long ago. I think they want to do either psychiatry or or anesthesiology. I mean, I'm gonna reach out to them again and see.
I have not talked to them in a while. I think the last time I talked to them was their housewarming party years ago before I left the lab. And
playing mahjong, huh?
No. This is after that. A lot of the social events that we had when you were still in the lab were pretty fun, especially the dumpling party at your house.
Oh, I love dumplings.
That was so fun.
And you brought the dance.
Yes.
The dance game.
And that was so fun.
Yes.
And then after you left lab, social events just got super awkward.
Oh.
To a point where everyone would just sit down and we would just like kind of all just stare at each other. And it would just always be small talk. It was so awkward.
Oh gosh.
I dreaded going to these social events, and I just felt like I had to go to them because, just to just out of politeness.
Well, I feel like you, our other friend, the lab tech in my lab, and myself, we were always the fun ones. And then us two left. So then it was just kind of you.
It's funny because 2 Christmases ago, they did White Elephant online, and my PI invited me, and I did it just out of politeness. And it was just so awkward.
How does an online White Elephant work? Like with presents? Isn't White Elephant like there are a bunch of random presents and you choose it?
Yeah, but I think everyone, how did it work? How did it work?
You give like virtual present.
No, everyone had like physical presents, but it was with them. So like let's say I drew your present, you'd be like, I want to choose this present. Oh, Jess brought that. All right, Jess, can you open it in front of us? And then you would open the present and be like, all right, I brought this. Okay, and so this present is
Oh,
technically mine now.
that's so awkward.
It was like imagine that, but then the social awkwardness of it
Yeah.
all that just it made it even more awkward.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting, oh my gosh, like I am so glad this is not in person because I would feel, and it was a lot of new lab members too, because people were cycling through my PI's lab because people were not staying there for a long time. Maybe because my PI was just trying to apply for more grants. And I think because it just takes a long time to train someone, like the data wasn't rolling in as quickly.
I want all the tea on
Mm,
them. Yeah. So I Googled the labs, both of our
hmm.
labs before this. So I was like, I wonder like who's in lab. Yeah, I didn't. No, I recognized I think one person in their lab, in your PI's lab.
Who stayed? Almost everyone that you know. I mean, I say everyone. There was only me and did you even know Veronica when she
I
came?
think she maybe started right before I left. But no, they have some PhD. She has some PhD students now too, right? It looks like.
She has one. They
Who's?
she's a PhD student.
Oh, okay.
So she rotated through our lab when I was just getting ready to leave. I kind of gave her some warning signs like, hey, if you want to join this lab, the project, the research is great, but here's the managing style of the PI. And, if you want to join, beware, learn how to navigate through this, learn how to work through it. I think they kind of just brushed it off because they had no intentions on joining this lab. So cool. And then after I left, I was catching up with one of the research techs who replaced me and just catching up with them to see how they're doing. And they're like, yeah, actually joined the lab because apparently she joined an even more toxic lab.
Oh,
Could
whose
not,
was the more toxic one?
I actually don't know, but they could not handle that lab. So they ended up like just backtracking and
Switching, yeah.
joining this lab last minute. And they're like, oh, like anything beats that toxic lab. Now she's suffering. It's so bad that she had to get a oh my gosh, what's it called? Where like
Therapist.
you have to that too, but you have to leave because of like a mental it's affecting mental
Oh,
health. And
in lab.
yeah, I'm sorry, in their lab.
Yeah.
And my PI, my old PI, is trying to find some loopholes in that, trying to make them come back or at least work at home. But that defeats the whole purpose of that. Like, why are you trying to exactly? Yes. So that gives you a better idea of how
Yeah.
my old PI is. She would always try to find a loophole or try to force or manipulate you to do something that she wants. It's so frustrating. That's ultimately why I decided to leave. I just could not
Yeah.
handle it. And it was annoying because she would always victim blame. Like, oh, if you can't handle this, then it's on you, or you need to be a better student.
It was always funny to me because you were a research assistant number two. Granted, you
Mhm.
were number two, but like you're salaried. Like you get paid to work 48 hours a week. You aren't, right? Like, aren't you only supposed to
Yeah.
work 48? And then I didn't know how, but like she somehow pressured you, treated you like you were trying to get your PhD by
Yeah.
saying like, oh, you need to get this paper out if you wanted to get into grad school to force you to work 80 hours a week, which is just,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, is this
Oh,
baby?
oh, you're good. Oh, you're so cute. Hello. Hello, you kitty patootie.
Say hi.
Hello. Hello. Aw. He is so freaking cute. We haven't talked in so long that you're a mother now. You are a mother.
Yes,
She's a
I have two
mother.
kids. I have two.
Holy moly. How's motherhood treating you?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's fun. It's definitely, instead of staying out till 2 a.m. partying, you go to bed at like 9 o'clock every night.
I mean, which is not
I
new
like.
because yeah,
As
you've
we talked
always.
about, I'm like your grandma, so you wouldn't understand.
I remember you always told me that you're like, yeah, I would be in bed by like 9 p.m. and then check like my location, and you would always say that I'm in lab at like 9 p.m.
Oh, wait, we followed each other
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Find
yeah.
My Friends.
I turn off Find My Friends because I would often share my location with my friends, and they would always ask me if I wanted to do things, and I would be too busy. I just wanted to,
Tell people like,
I just want some
oh,
privacy, you know,
yeah, yeah, no, that's
just
fair.
some sense of privacy, just a little bit, just a little bit.
I definitely used to follow you. I forgot.
For the most part, I didn't leave lab until like 1 or 2 a.m. because
I
I was
know.
trying to get data. And then you did that too one time. You misunderstood what your PI said, and you stayed in lab till like overnight until 6 a.m. because you were trying to, I think, scan documents or something.
No, I think I had to like get just based off of my research design. So I did a lot of, electrophysiology of mouse brains.
Yar.
And it was like the data had to be recorded on day X. I don't even
Yeah.
really remember, like day 21 after birth. And so like I had to get my data. And then I don't think I even was successful because I was so tired. I just kept messing up.
Can we play a game real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give like a 5-minute breakdown of your project, but give it as if like you're defending your project right now?
Oh my gosh. No. My PhD.
Yeah, your PhD.
I can't remember this. Okay, so my presentation's called the paradoxical effect of light gated chloride channels.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a chloride channel from an algae, and it was termed GTACR2, which is an anion channel.
Mm-hmm.
Anion means a negatively charged particle, if you remember from your
I remember OChem or
college.
general chemistry. Yeah.
And so this was an optogenetic channel. And so what would happen is when you shine blue light on the channel, it would open up and allow anions to flow through. And channels, it lets anions flow down their concentration gradient. So from higher concentration to lower concentration to try to, even out that negative charge on both sides of the membrane or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to inhibit cells. Because another channel is like the GABA ion channel, and GABA in the brain is
inhibitory neurons.
It's inhibitory, right?
Yeah.
It lets chloride, which is a negatively charged particle, flow through. And so this optogenetic channel is supposed to essentially be like a GABA channel, but we can activate it with light, which allows us in mouse brains or in human brains, we could inhibit certain subtypes of neurons to either see how they behave or potentially, for treatment options. And so when we were using this to try to inhibit certain types of cells in the brain, we found that it actually activated those cells, which is not what you'd expect, right? If it's mimicking a GABA channel. And then we ultimately found that the chloride concentration in the axon of a neuron was higher than in other parts of the neuron, so that in the axon, chloride's actually excitatory.
Yep.
And which is kind of a new thought in neuroscience, because we always think that GABA channels are inhibiting the neurons, that if they're present in the axon of neurons, they actually could be exciting them there. Which, and then we kind of modified this channel to make it truly inhibitory for use in, future studies.
Wow.
I know.
That was 3 minutes. Wow.
Oh, good. Okay.
I love the breakdown of that. Wow.
I'm glad I remember that.
Oh my gosh, that was good. Like, and you published in eLife, and they made a little video about it too. A little animation video.
Oh, okay. I kind of don't remember that, but they did. Yeah.
Oh, after watching the animation video, that kind of pushed me in that direction of like, I think that's what I probably want to do long term, where like maybe I can, using my editing background and science background, I could probably work on these types of videos like long term or like in the far future. I'm still thinking like what I want to do in life with after I get my PhD, and I want to like inch my way towards television, but I don't want to do television long term. I just want to gain more experience and then maybe work backstage or like camera or like technical stuff with TV, and then gain more skills in that area, and then hopefully, I don't know, work my way up to
but
like
do it for like science.
This will all like be science related, and then probably like work my way up to like illustration and working on videos like the one they made for you. And I think that's kind of the goal that I'm going for. I think like in the past couple of years that we haven't talked, that's, we follow each other, and that's what I've been doing on social media. And
yeah. Well, you're such a good, presence on social media now. I feel like it's good for you to be, I feel like the science community is so kind of like restricted because we don't talk in the way non-scientists can understand. And so you're a very good kind of, I know, but like I think what you do is very important.
When gas prices are so expensive and you're like, you're spending so much money gassing me up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. $65 probably to fill up your tank.
Holy moly. Oh, speaking of which, I need to fill up my gas tank today. I was planning to like go out of my way to go to Costco to save a couple cents to fill up on tank.
What's the cost down in Houston?
Oh, I forgot. I keep thinking that you're in Houston. You're not in Houston anymore. The cost, honestly, I don't know, because I have such tunnel vision when I drive. I don't really look at the gas prices.
You haven't filled up your tank yet?
I haven't filled up my tank in like 2-3 weeks because I don't drive a lot. I don't drive a lot.
Do you walk to work?
I do not walk to work. I actually stay at my boyfriend's apartment.
You have a boyfriend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh man, we have so much catching up to do. Yeah, we our 4 months just hit.
4 months is a while.
From his place, I walk over to lab. It's a quick walk. I buy all my food and I just store it in lab, and I just eat in lab so I don't have to drive out. And so yeah, like I don't drive a lot.
So you live in lab again?
Yeah, pretty much.
You live in lab, not your boyfriend. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I spend most of my time in lab. I wake up before my boyfriend, and then I leave. And then by the time I come back, it's like I'm trying to come home at a pretty decent time so that I have enough time to spend, I can spend time with him. So I come back. So
you aren't staying in lab till 1 a.m.
No, I'm staying in lab till like 10, 11.
Oh my gosh.
Not that big of a difference. But hey, no one's forcing me to stay in lab this late. I'm doing it out of my own.
That's good. Yeah.
Will. That's what I need to fill up on gas. Going back to that story. Okay. I want to say gas. Why am I even saying this? I could just easily Google. I want to say it's $4. $4 and something cents.
Okay. Yeah. Here in Pittsburgh, I think it's like $4.20, $4.30, something like that.
$4.20-ish in Houston. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't pay attention to the gas prices on the street, on the road, because I'm like, I don't need this gas. I'm better than you. I have a Costco membership and I'm going to save a couple of cents.
Probably by the amount of like distance it takes to drive to Costco. Like,
exactly. I know.
It's wasted. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my whole reasoning. Pittsburgh. How's Pittsburgh?
It's good. It's a very cool city. I'd never come here before I interviewed.
Girl.
Yeah, but it's awesome. And well, imagine now all these interviews are virtual. People are like our current interns. They like a lot of them had never even come to Pittsburgh, and then they just match here, and then this is where they're going to live for 3 years. Crazy.
Is there any any spicy tea?
Nothing like spicy that like as spicy as your viewers tea that I see on Instagram, like we don't have people like having sex in the mouse room, unfortunately. Yeah, I know.
You don't do that? I do that all the time. Oh my gosh.
Like I definitely think people are doing it in the call rooms, but no one that I actually know of,
Oh wait, what's a call room?
Yeah, so a call room is like when we're there for our 24-hour calls, we have like beds and showers. Like a room with a bed and a shower.
Oh.
So people definitely are having sex in there, right? But unfortunately, I've never caught anyone.
So you need to put up a camera. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe we can live feed it on your Instagram.
You're right.
Oh
my gosh.
Can just like see what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be like Big Brother. But I say that I don't even watch Big Brother, but I just know a lot of the drama, the juicy stories that come from Big Brother. Alrighty, thank you so much, Jessica. Do you have any words of advice for my listeners?
Yes. My advice is find yourself a partner or support system who will really support you through your toughest times, because ultimately it's the people you come home to that will help you, get through your PhD program, through working 28-hour days. And so make sure you find someone who supports what you do, and then you'll be happy.
Charlie is love it, man. I don't know if he remembers me, but I love hanging.
He does.
I love hanging out with him. He's amazing. He was fun. I remember we played Just Dance together. He was the only person who wanted to play Just Dance with me. If my listeners want to follow you, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram.
Ooh, the IG.
At Just Mess Beall.
Nice. For those that are wondering, where did the Beall come from? That's her maiden name.
No, that's my husband's name.
Beall?
Beall's Messier is my maiden name, but I actually never changed my name. I was too lazy.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my God, I thought it was the opposite. Oh my God.
What a bad friend. William.
I know. I'm canceled. Canceled. All right. Thank you so much, Jess, and I hope we can see each other again in Houston.
Yes, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Dumpling party.
So you sold your house?
We sold our house. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
yeah,
let me end this podcast and I want to catch up with you.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.